Welcome to this explainer. As a sociologist who studies elite inequality, I spend a lot of time looking at exactly how privilege replicates itself in the modern workforce. So today, we're jumping right into the fascinating, kind of hidden sociological machinery behind how the world's most elite jobs are actually filled.
We all grew up with those classic Horatio Alger stories, right? You know the ones, where grit, good grades, and just pure unflagging effort are guaranteed to get you to the top of the economic ladder. Well, today we're going to systematically shatter that illusion. Because as sociologists, we know for a fact that looking only at individual effort completely ignores the massive, invisible structures that are actually sorting people into entirely different economic destinies.
Just listen to this stunning admission from an elite gatekeeper, an attorney named Keith. He says, "There are many smart people out there, we just refuse to look at them." Wow! That quote right there proves that the pipeline to top-tier firms isn't some open contest. It's definitely not a simple race where the fastest runner wins. Instead, it's really a masterclass in elite reproduction, where the rules of the game are written by the very people who've already won it.
So here's our roadmap for this explainer. We'll cover the meritocracy myth, the gated playing field, evaluating the paper, the culture of fit, breaking the class ceiling, and finally, wrap it up with the machinery of privilege. Let's get into it.
Part 1. The Meritocracy Myth, Uncovering the Sociological Source Code. Our foundational source material for this analysis is sociologist Lauren A. Rivera's incredible deep dive into elite professional service firms, or EPS firms for short. We're talking about the absolute top-tier investment banks, management consultancies, and elite law firms. Rivera essentially went undercover, getting this totally exclusive inside access to the hiring committees of these gatekeeping institutions just to see how they actually decide who gets the job.
And honestly, the stakes literally couldn't be higher. College graduates typically make 80% more than high school graduates, which frames these EPS jobs as the ultimate holy grail of economic mobility. These are some of the highest paying entry-level positions in the country. Getting one of these isn't just about snagging a good starting salary. It's practically a golden ticket straight into the ranks of America's economic and social elite.
Moving to Section 2, the gated playing field, sourcing the candidates.
So the absolutely crucial point here is figuring out who actually gets to step onto the field to play this high-stakes game in the first place. We all like to think of hiring as this open contest system, right? Like a level playing field where anyone with a stellar GPA can submit a resume and just be judged on their demonstrated ability. But the reality for elite firms is a locked, sponsored system. It acts like a highly gated playing field where you fundamentally need an invitation to even be considered. Basically, you have to be sponsored by an existing elite institution.
Firms restrict their hiring pipelines strictly to students possessing what we call institutionalized social capital. What does that mean in practice? Well, it means firms maintain a very rigid list of target or core elite universities. Think Harvard, Yale, Princeton. If you aren't enrolled at one of these listed super elite schools, your application goes straight into a black hole. It's a pretty harsh structural reality. It really doesn't matter if you're the absolute top valedictorian at your state school, the gate is just closed.
All right, Section 3, Evaluating the paper, the resume screen. So once you're lucky enough to be inside that gated pipeline, what happens when evaluators actually look at the resumes? Well, they're searching for institutionalized cultural capital. The evaluators genuinely believe they are screening for individual merit, intelligence, and drive. But, sociologically speaking, what they're actually screening for requires a massive prior investment of their parents' time and money. They are looking for very distinct markers of a highly privileged upbringing.
They're specifically scanning for these highly classed criteria. Beyond just having that Ivy League name at the top of the page, they heavily reward applicants for resource-intensive leisure pursuits, things like crew, squash, or playing the cello. Because, nothing says I can build a complex financial model quite like a rich history of elite rowing. Jokes aside, evaluators actively prioritize these wildly expensive credentials of character over actual job-relevant technical skills.
Section 4. The culture of fit, the interview stage. Now we encounter a totally fascinating core sociological concept, looking glass merit. Because these evaluators are largely upper-middle-class Ivy League grads themselves, they unconsciously define the best and brightest as people who look, sound, and act exactly like them. When they sit there evaluating an interviewee's polish or how articulate they are, they're really just looking into a mirror. They're just rewarding candidates who perfectly reflect their own socioeconomic upbringing. Firms always say they want someone who fits the culture. You'll hear this called the airport test all the time, like, would I want to be stuck in an airport with this person for 6 hours? But what they're actually enforcing is deep-level cultural homogeneity. They want shared upper-class interactional polish. They want someone who knows exactly how to casually chat about ski trips to the Alps or getting scuba certified. This effectively, and tragically, filters out brilliant candidates from working-class backgrounds who simply don't share those specific cultural touchstones.
Section 5. Breaking the class ceiling, the exceptions to the rule.
Okay, so how does a non-traditional candidate actually break through this massive wall? Well, it usually requires one of 3 very specific mobility pathways. Number 1, a serendipitous match. Basically finding a super lucky, shared, obscure interest with an interviewer. Number 2, insider coaching. That means having a mentor who teaches you the hidden corporate language and interactional style way before you ever step foot in the interview room. Or number 3, compensatory credentialing. This is leveraging third-party sponsors like the military or diversity organizations like SEO to officially vouch for your character and essentially compensate for a lack of traditional upper-class signals.
Section 6. The machinery of privilege, the big picture.
Zooming out, this quote from a banker named Ryan really just says it all. A lot of things have to have gone right in your life to be competitive for this job. And he hit the nail on the head. It takes an enormous amount of unseen economic, social, and cultural capital, passed down directly from parents, to perfectly execute the exact signals these gatekeepers demand. From preschool enrichment programs, to elite college prep, to having the exact right extracurriculars, to nailing that perfectly polished interview demeanor, it's literally an expensive, multi-decade assembly line of privilege.
When we look at the broader societal structure here, we see that elite universities and elite firms share this deeply symbiotic relationship. The universities provide the highly vetted human capital, right? And in exchange, the elite firms provide the economic and symbolic capital by hiring these grads at exorbitant starting salaries. This creates a completely closed loop. It institutionalizes class privilege and fiercely protects the status of both the universities and the firms, all while operating under the incredibly powerful, completely convincing guise of an open meritocratic contest.
So, I want to leave you with this thought. Tomorrow, look around your own workplace or your own industry and ask yourself this final, provocative question. When we claim to hire the best and the brightest, are we truly rewarding objective merit? Or are we, through a complex sociological machinery of target schools, extracurricular screens, and culture fit tests, simply mirroring and reproducing existing privilege? Recognizing this hidden structural machinery is absolutely the first required step if we ever want to build a truly level playing field.